I'd be willing to bet that they've got no sales.
Yeah.
And so if you're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars in ad spend to get this massive list, and most of our clients get that from other agencies. Like one of our clients from Montreal, when we were chatting with her, she says, I get 125 leads. They promised me 125 leads, and I called them all. I called all of them. And so she spent all that time to call all these leads to then find out that none of these leads were exclusive, meaning that this agency was reselling them. That is dirty, and you are a dirty dog, and you need to go, like, your mother needs to spank you. That is absolutely gross. Okay, so they weren't exclusive to her, but none of them, she got nothing from it. Spent thousands of dollars to get that list of 125 to just waste her time, money, and energy. It's frustrating, unbelievable. And that's what we're looking at on the screen right now with that page. That's the prime example of that.
So what are the key components to marketing and sales? How do some of the most successful entrepreneurs and business leaders set up freedom frameworks that we all got into business for in the first place? How did they find the time, energy, and resources to launch and scale strong? And how do Rockstar entrepreneurs and business leaders with that champion mindset align their time, money, and energy in a way that will allow us to reach what we set out to achieve? These are the key questions, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Chamberlain. This is the Convert on Command podcast. Thanks for listening to the Convert on Command podcast, sponsored by Convert on Command and Mission Ignition Marketing. If you want to ignite your business and increase your sales, be sure to visit convertoncommand.pro and set up a time that works best for you in the calendar at the bottom of the page under the latest feature video.
Hey, welcome to the Convert on Command podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Zach Shanky today, and we're going to be going over chapter 10 in our book called Passion to Profits, How to Ignite Impact and Income, even if you don't know where to start. And this chapter is going to be fire, absolutely fire. I'm really excited to go through this with you guys. I haven't even heard it yet. Zach is the one who's been writing this chapter and most of the second half of this book. But this chapter is called Winning Funnel Secrets. All right. And it's exciting because, well, how do you build a winning funnel? Where do you start? How, these are the kinds of questions you need to ask. And these are the kinds of questions that are going to get answered in this chapter, in this episode today. So if you're a first-time listener today, look, we're writing a book right now, as mentioned, Passion to Profits. This is my second book. It's being co-written with my partner, Zach, here. And ultimately, last year, I was able to write a best-selling book, co-write it. And yeah, it was really fun. #1 international best-selling book. And that's cool and all. I mean, it's not like it was a New York Times best-selling book, but it was a best-selling book on Amazon. And we actually beat Think and Grow Rich in the UK. So it's pretty cool stuff going on. However, we're going to do it again here with this book. But this time we decided, look, instead of just making assumptions about what we think we know and all that kind of stuff based on, okay, our experience and quote unquote being experts, I hate that term, lifelong learners and passionate about what it is that we do, and we surround ourselves with what we consider to be the best. But instead of taking that approach, we wanted to get a whole bunch of people involved that are literally in the trenches trying to figure out how to turn their passion into profits. And so we've got over 20 people enrolled right now. And at the end of this session today, I'm actually going to show you how you can be a part of the Inner Circle group. And we're teaching them to do just that. Literally this week, we are going to be going over this. I've got a few people that I did some one-on-one coaching with to actually help them with their headlines and get their funnels started. And I'm really excited to see the results that are coming through. We've seen some really great results with people that have been implementing and taking action. And it's just really exciting time. So without further ado, though, let's dive right into it. I'm going to hand it over to my partner, Zach.
Awesome, man. Super glad to be here again. So this, keep in mind, this is draft one. So just bear
That's
that
right.
in mind. We are likely going to vamp it up even more, but I'm actually really happy with what I've put together here. Can't wait
Thank
to
you
share.
for the reminder, actually, Zach, because again, if you're a first-time listener, you're in, we want to encourage you to go back and listen to the rest of the chapters. Of course, we're in chapter
Yeah.
10 right now, but every quarter we're revamping another draft, and we got 4 drafts going this year, 1 draft a quarter, and then we're going to be releasing this book in the first quarter of 2022. So we're really fired up about that, and it's just really about serving at the highest level and giving the best quality and getting the feedback of those that are actually implementing and going through it. Again, we didn't want to assume, we wanted to literally help people. And chances are, if we helped a whole bunch of people along the way, a lot of the questions that they have would get answered. And those are probably most of the questions that you're going to have as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, man. Pass me over host and I'll share my screen.
That's right. And excuse, by the way, everybody, I'm in my bedroom right now. Excuse that I'm normally in the office, but my wife got the COVID, and so here we are. All right, making you host. Wait. Here we go, and there you have it. Well, I don't know
All right.
why I just started sharing my screen. You can take it back now, can't you?
I think so.
I'm just trying to start a fight.
That's right. All right, here we go. Chapter 10, Winning Funnel Secrets. Oof, I'm so excited. This is going to be good. Winning
Sweet.
funnel secrets is not about the cone that you use to add oil into your car. Okay, so I figured let's start with the basics, like what is a funnel? A funnel is nothing more than a web page or series of web pages that have a singular focus and purpose for the visitor to take action on. See, one of the biggest problems with traditional websites is that there are simply too many options. You can click the navigation menu, explore a million things about the business. The problem is that the average attention span online is 6 seconds. Before 6 seconds are up, the average visitor doesn't even remember why they're there and they move on with their lives. If it has been proven time and time again that having a page that reminds the visitor of why they're visiting and then have one action for them to perform, it will get significantly better results. The purpose behind this chapter is to share with you the secrets behind how and why those funnels work so well. After all, there are hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people who have tried using funnels and did not succeed. I've devoted a lot of my time, this is so true, probably too much time to be honest. I've devoted a lot of my time and energy to examining why a funnel will work and why it will not. So the good news is that the chapters in this book have been very strategic in how we structured each step to turning your passion into profit. Back in chapter 7, I mentioned the 3 things needed for marketing to succeed: the right audience, the right message, the right offer. Those 3 things are, for the most part, what really separates a working funnel versus a failed funnel. Since chapter 7, then we have literally covered each of those categories, and you now have a baseline to work from in order to make your funnel super effective. There are just a few more details with strategy that we need to go through to make it even better. I'm going to cover some basic strategies surrounding a funnel and then break down the 4 funnels that we use the most to get results, as well as what specific funnel your business should start with. So, starting out with context versus curiosity. I have to be honest here. Most marketers would argue this one with me and tell me that the key to funnels is curiosity. Long story short, curiosity will get way more volume of leads coming through any funnel. But context will get way more sales through the funnel. See, most marketers, they judge their marketing on 2 metrics.
Ooh. I just want to dude, that is that is rich. That is super, super thick and rich, man. It's so true. So many people talk about how curiosity sells, but curiosity doesn't sell. Curiosity gets somebody through the door.
Yeah.
Context sells. So good. So good.
Awesome. So most marketers, what they do, they judge their marketing on two metrics, cost per click and cost per lead. As the name states, CPC, cost per click, and CPL, cost per lead, is how much ad spend it costs to get someone to click or to become a lead. The problem with looking at those metrics by themselves is that they don't necessarily equate to more sales. I have seen time and time again both my CPC and CPL increase, sometimes by as much as 1,000% higher, but my sales increase as well. As I'm writing this book, we're experiencing this in our real estate leads business. For most industries, we get leads for anywhere from $2 all the way up to $50, depending on the industry. But for finding people looking to sell their home, leads cost us about $150. I recently spoke with another agency. Brian, I totally forgot to tell you about this, by the way. I did this on Friday morning. I chatted with another agency.
Sweet.
I recently spoke with another agency that provides seller leads to their clients for about $15 cost per lead. So why are ours so costly? The answer is quality. Now for the secret. Context equals quality. Okay. So I looked at the other agency's funnel, and this is what I found. Take a minute and laugh at that, Brian. That's hilarious.
There's zero, like, that's the actual landing page?
Yeah.
Find out what your home is worth. Oh my Lanta. In Atlanta. Dude, that is like, there's no context whatsoever to that. And so I'm getting, all they're doing is putting in their email. There's no phone number. There's no name. The agent here is not going to get the postal code to know what the actual home is worth. They're not going to get the actual, like, what the people even think that their home is worth. They're not getting anything. Like, there's no context on both sides of this. On both sides, not just the front. On both sides, there's no context. That's pretty, yeah, that's gross.
So that's it. So I said, does this talk about why they should sell their home now versus next year? Does this even talk about selling their home at all? No, right? What they're finding is that people coming through just want to be able to put a value to their home. Most are not even looking to sell at all. I asked about why the realtor is okay with this approach, and their response was this. Well, our client understands that it's impossible to get people that are looking to sell their homes right now, so they just want a list of people that will be looking to in the future, so he can just keep following up with them.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure I threw up in my mouth a little bit. And that's an example of unwanted context.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
I have to read this again. Like, well, our client understands that it's impossible to keep people that are looking to sell their homes right now. You're kidding, right? So, like, what?
Yeah.
So they just want a list of people that will be looking in the future, so he can just keep following up with them. That's spam. That's gross. That's like, there's no point to that. It's just such a waste of time, money, and energy. You're playing a game of what we would call cold calling guesswork, or ring, like the running around like a chicken with your head cut off.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah. No, it is pretty gross.
Most agencies, by the way, just for more context, like, they don't even do this at all. They don't offer this at all. So anyway, it's crazy. So now let's look at ours. Here's our page. I'll keep scrolling because it's very long. Look at that.
And if you're, by the way, if you're watching, right, if you're listening on the podcast right now, definitely go to YouTube and check out Convert on Command and subscribe, and like jump in and get these visuals, because this is like a big difference. There's huge. Like, how many columns are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. And by columns, I mean, like, just think of like a couple of paragraphs per column. There's in each one or sections. Each
9.
one of these sections have 2 columns. Okay, so if we go to the top here really quick,
There's 9 sections.
9 sections with each having 2 columns. So there's 2
18.
columns of context there. So 18 columns of context.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's a big difference to what we were just looking at. By the way, again, if you're listening on the podcast, we were looking at a page that literally had a map of Atlanta with if you find out how much your home is worth, and just give us your email.
Yeah.
And that email, by the way, a lot of people, when a lot of other agencies are using short copy, they're optimizing for tire kickers. Like, you'll get those emails, you'll get that, but that doesn't mean it's a bot or somebody who's just playing around because they got nothing else better to do on a Friday night when they get this ad. Whereas when you utilize long copy, it does a few different things. It pre-qualifies, and it will attract the right audience to you and repel the wrong audience from you. But it also tells Facebook the exact type of person that you're looking for. So when you target, you can actually target with your copy. Facebook has its own language and knows every single language. So when you actually get as detailed as possible and offer as much context as possible, Facebook will literally target it. So like, Facebook identifies each and every one of us by about 400,000 to 500,000 data clusters based on our likes, dislikes, based on, our behaviors. And that's what determines you getting an ad in front of you. Have you ever like actually talked about something and you're like, oh, how the heck? Like, I was literally just talking about that with my friend, and all of a sudden I got like these shoes show up on my, in my feed, or, all of a sudden I was talking about life insurance and I got an ad about life insurance in front of me. Like, like that stuff. That's how this works. As creepy as it is, it's incredible, the power of it. And that's why it's so important that you offer these contexts. That's why it's so important that, look, grab a pen and paper, listen to this twice if you need to, 3 times, reach out to us. We're here to help you make your ad successful. We pride ourselves on being able to 3x, 5x, and even up to 10x your ROAS, which is your return on ad spend.
Yeah.
Because these guys right now at $15 a pop, I'd be willing to bet that they've got no sales.
Yeah.
And so if you're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars in ad spend to get this massive list, and most of our clients get that from other agencies. Like, one of our clients from Montreal, when we were chatting with her, she says, I get 125 leads. They promised me 125 leads, and I called them all. I called all of them. And so she spent all that time to call all these leads to then find out that none of these leads were exclusive, meaning that this agency was reselling them. That is dirty, and you are a dirty dog, and you need to go, like, your mother needs to spank you. That is absolutely gross. Okay, so they weren't exclusive to her, but none of them, she got nothing from it. Spent thousands of dollars to get that list of 125 to just waste her time, money, and energy. It's frustrating, unbelievable. And that's what we're looking at on the screen right now with that page. That's the prime example of that.
So it's very curiosity based, right? Oh, I wonder what my home is worth, right? But like, there's no context. And who's to say that they're even in the Atlanta area? Who's to say, like, you literally can't find this out with just an email. So the thank you page, I looked at that too. It said like, we'll be in touch to gather more details or whatever. And
now you have to chase them via email. How? Because there's no phone number there.
Yep.
That's an email. You got to chase them with an email. How are you like? But then on our page, explain what happens on this page, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it.
Okay.
You may not be able to see every word on that page because of how small the picture is, but you can see how long it is. We talk about what they're going to learn if they keep reading. We'll cover headlines in a minute. Why they should sell now. What happens if they don't sell now? Who's positioned to sell? Who we are and how we can help. the next step plus a gift that we give them via email as a bonus enticement. Each lead costs us about $150, and each one is ready to sell within 3 months. A realtor's dream and thought to be impossible. Context equals quality.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Easy
Wow.
peasy.
And I mean, we said 150. The last two, did you say the last two came in at $46?
Yeah, so that's for that one campaign. I'm talking about because we've been testing too. So
Right. So we haven't honed that in yet, but we're hoping that we can get it. Like if we
get it even lower. Yeah.
we might be able to get it lower. But if we average it out right now based on what we spent, yeah, we're looking at $150 per lead. But either way, man, like that, like you have to look at this. This is a high ticket item. Every lead that's come through so far is $400,000 home plus. And each real estate agent on both sides, they're getting 2%.
Yeah.
That's like, how many? That's like putting $150 into a machine and walking away with how much? But at least what, 10K?
Well, just
10?
on one side, it's $8K for a $400,000 house.
For a $400,000 house, $500,000 and above.
You spent $150 3 times, and you made $24,000 from that. Is that worth it?
Yeah. No.
Context. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's powerful, man. And we're going to dial this in, man. We are going to get this to be ridiculous. We're going to get this thing to open up the floodgates.
We're so excited about it.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So now 3 concepts to written persuasion. Moving on to the next strategy of funnels. Okay. So the first one's about context. Now we're on to this. The next bit of strategy to keep in mind is to have the following 3 concepts on each page of your funnel: emotion, logic, and fear. Now, let me provide some context here before you start questioning the fear part. Okay. I want to go in order, but rest assured, fear does not mean threats or anything insane. Okay. We'll get to that. But first, we go into emotion. So emotion can typically be covered in the headline. The best way to draw out someone's emotion is to call out their pain, specify the result they're looking for, and overcome their biggest objection. By doing that, they will immediately correlate the emotions surrounding the problem your business can solve for them. So going back to the real estate example, we have this headline: how we help you get 20 to 50% more for your home in the current market without grueling guesswork and heartache, even if you had no idea you were sitting on a gold mine. I'll be breaking down the headline in a little bit so you can make your own. But what I want to point out here is that we are instigating emotion with that headline. When a person who is thinking about selling, or at least it's crossed their mind, when they read that headline, they immediately start to get emotional. Maybe they start to think about some financial challenges they're having and how selling their house can be a solution to that. Maybe they start to think about their parents' house that they continue to maintain now that they're in a retirement home, which brings even more emotion. Or maybe they're just an investor and immediately realize that they have a huge opportunity sitting right in front of them. However they interpret the headline, it will turn into some form of emotion. Moving on to number 2, logic.
I just want to take a second to just express how rich this is. Like, I was not expecting this to be this high level, but yet understandable. Like, this is super rich, man. Like, thank you for just feeding this much value to the audience. You guys are being spoiled right now, straight up.
Thanks for listening to the Convert on Command podcast, sponsored by Convert on Command and Mission Ignition Marketing. If you want to ignite your business and increase your sales, be sure to visit convertoncommand.pro and set up a time that works best for you in the calendar at the bottom of the page under the latest feature video.
No problem, man. I'm excited for it. I'm telling you, this is, if somebody just reads this book like twice, like they should be pretty well set.
Yeah.
All right. So then moves on to logic. Once someone gets metaphorically hit with a dose of emotion, it's important to follow up with some logic. See, when a person feels any kind of negative emotion, the brain releases a chemical called cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone released whether you can't agree on a movie for date night or if someone's holding a gun to your head. It's the same chemical. This is why a lot of stress feels like it's life or death. I can't tell you how many times I felt like my life was over because I didn't get that sale, or my wife and I had a bad argument. That's the work of cortisol. When cortisol is introduced, the brain immediately looks for any form of explanation to hopefully alleviate that feeling. That's why it's crucial to add some logic. So back to real estate. The headline introduces self-induced emotions, and then the very next section talks about the housing market and how it's up 23% since 2019. We then go on to say how realtors have at least 5 to 20 buyers lined up for every house they put on the market, and so on about why the market is perfectly positioned for those wanting to sell their home. Logic. Now the cortisol levels go down and it becomes a new chemical called serotonin, which basically helps the prospect feel more excitement than anything else.
I have never understood the breakdown of how these methodologies and these principles that we use work. Like, I've never looked at it from this perspective. I was just like, hey, it's a formula. Watch this. It's magic. Like, this is cool.
Yeah. So little context on where I learned this stuff, because I actually I went to some live event. This was back in 2018. And there was this guy who he sold he was a sales guy for a $15,000 product, and he was their top of the line sales guy. This dude went up on stage and he just broke down the 5 different brain chemicals and how to use them and induce them and kind of manipulate them, unfortunately, but he was doing it for a rightful cause. Okay. But basically, if somebody's feeling this, you need to introduce this, and he knows how to do it. Okay. And he broke it down, and it was really impressive. I don't even remember that guy's name, to be honest. I'll have to look him up. But I started to learn some of that. Moving on to number 3, fear, which finally leads us to fear. Now, fear in this sense can be summed up in one of 2 things: urgency or scarcity. So if we're selling ABC supplement and we're on this step, we can say something like, this amazing price is literally only available until the timer runs out, with a timer on the page. That's an example of urgency. Or we're only offering ABC supplement at this price to the first 10 buyers, so get it now. That's an example of scarcity. It's really important to have an element like this on your funnel pages. For real estate, after talking about logic, we lay out the choice they have to make. They could ignore the page and wait until next year, which could lead to a lot of regret, as the market will not likely be as primed as selling next year. Or they can take action now and have a conversation with one of our realtors so they don't miss this opportunity. That's an urgency message. So we decided So decide what's best for you and your products and services. Urgency or scarcity.
Wow. Powerful.
So now we move on to headline. Let's break that headline down. Let's go back to our emotional headline. How we help you get 20 to 50% more for your home in the current market without grueling guesswork and heartache, even if you had no idea you were sitting on a gold mine. In order to break this down, you will need to refer to your freedom map from chapter 7. So here's the formula. How we help you get result without pain, even if objection or challenge. Let's use our ABC supplement to create a new headline with that formula. As a recap, the freedom map we created for ABC supplement in chapter 7 had the following pains, results, and objections. So the pains were overweight, disgusted by their own appearance, and too much going on to add losing weight to their mental bandwidth. So it's mental bandwidth. The results they wanted was to lose weight, have energy, and look great. Objections: they have no time, healthy diet is too expensive, and I've tried a million things and nothing worked for me. Okay, just a little recap.
Mm-hmm.
So please note a couple of things before you make this headline. Number one, you do not have to follow that formula to a T. You can switch up some of the words if it makes sense with the context. For example, sometimes you can do without objection if that makes sense. As long as you have or imply a pain, result, and objection in the headline, it's good. Keep an open mind and expect to change it once you start to get traffic in. That data will determine what combination will work best. So I'll give you a couple of examples that I would use for ABC supplement if it was a real thing. So, how we help you lose weight and feel great without spending hours each week cooking organic foods, even if you tried a million things in the past. Now, if we note there, I didn't actually say any of these pains specifically.
You took the feelings associated with them.
You got it.
And you made it make sense to who you're speaking to.
Yeah. So I pulled an elephant method here. I know what you're thinking. Where's the pain? The pain in this example is implied. By saying without spending hours each week cooking organic foods, I'm actually touching on the mental bandwidth issue. So I know I'm getting a little deep with that example, but sometimes it just makes sense. Here's one that would be a little bit more straightforward. How we help you lose weight and feel great so you don't feel disgusted looking in the mirror, even if you think you're too busy for healthy habits. So I changed the without to so you because it just made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
The real point I want to get across in that is that formula is that the formula is nothing more than a starting point. Once you have some type of headline, I want you to write it again, but add more details. So for example, if I take the headline I just wrote, I can change it to how we help you lose 10 pounds or kilograms before summer so you don't feel disgusted when going to the beach, even if you think you're too busy for healthy habits.
Yeah, I love it. And I just want to take a moment here for a second. And for some people, look, like I at one point in time was overweight. I'm currently overweight. Okay. I got the dad bod going. Zach and I are both on a program right now. We got the dad bods going. And, we've got lots of friends that are in the same boat. And we are not trying to target anybody here and try to demean anybody. Like, that's not what this is. It's super important that you understand that every market has a different mentality, has a different focus. Like, this would be really great for because like some of this sounds super superficial. Some of this sounds straight up shallow. And I get that. Some markets are like that. So, and I'll give you an example outside of outside the health industry here, or outside the weight loss industry, if you will, is a company called Turf. Or sorry, not a company called Turf. That's one of our clients. But a turf company that we work with, we would have never known that their audience actually have a keeping up with the Joneses type of mentality, right?
Yeah.
And that's super superficial, right?
Yeah.
But some of their buying decisions are based on what their neighbors are doing.
Yep.
Right. And so understanding that in marketing and sales here, we're forming a message for a specific demographic of people. And none of this here is to attack or to really demean anybody. We just want you to know, whoever's listening right now, if you're a human being, we absolutely love you.
100%.
And it doesn't matter your weight. It doesn't matter your color. It doesn't matter your sex preference. None of those things matter. We absolutely love you. And these examples are just here as examples. And we want you to see these things at work. And for you, no matter what you're doing, you're going to have your own unique message for your audience. So I just wanted to throw that out there for a second.
I agree 100%. 100%. But so this is kind of it's taking this headline up here, and it just adds a little bit more detail. So I took the same headline, but I put in extra details. If I was promoting this service or this product to Miami, Florida, it would work way better because it's talking about going to the beach and stuff like that. This is also why we went through the ideal avatar in chapter 7, because now you should have enough insight to make detailed changes like that, catered to your avatar. Again, keep in mind the formula above is a guideline, not a rule. Yay, Pirates of the Caribbean. The real gold is when you point out or at least imply a pain, result, and objection, and you add some key detail. That's it. That's how you make an emotional headline. Now, this next part is the part that I wanted to keep in mind. It's a first draft because I feel like I could go even deeper. But
it's all good. We can even throw some context into this session as we're going through it, and then it'll feed. Like, again, y'all, this is a first draft, so bear with us. But one of the things that I think I know where Zach is going is we want you to be able to read and be able to decide what your strategy should be for a funnel coming up, right?
Yep.
And we might need to offer a little bit more context than what we have here right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Got it.
So we're going to get into funnel types. At this point in the chapter, you have an understanding of what a funnel is, context versus curiosity. You understand about having emotion, logic, and fear on each page, and about how to generate an amazing and effective headline. Now it's time to put it all together and decide what funnel strategy is right for you. There are 4 main funnels that we use over and over again. Number 1, lead funnel. 2, calendar funnel. 3, webinar funnel. And 4, sales funnel. Each of these funnels has a purpose and works for specific businesses depending on where they are in their growth. Let's break down each one, talk about some basic layouts for them, and why you should or should not use that specific strategy. So number 1, lead funnels. Lead funnels are the simplest of the bunch and tend to be the easiest as long as your messaging is on point. Essentially, a lead funnel consists of 2 pages, an opt-in page and a thank you page, like this, and a little picture. The little green icon represents any form of traffic, which we'll talk about in the future as well.
So it could be Google, Facebook, YouTube.
Right. It could be organic or paid. It doesn't much matter. The entire purpose of a lead funnel is to generate leads. A lead is someone who is willing to give up their name, email, and sometimes more data like phone number in exchange for something. The thing that they get can be a free quote or estimate, a checklist, a guide, etc. Those are called lead magnets and are only effective if it's something your target audience wants. We've done this successfully with free courses, ebooks, guides, checklists, and even comparison videos, like which software is best kind of thing. The benefit here is really having their email and phone number, because that way you can set up some emails, text messages, and even voicemail drops to send the new lead automatically and hopefully warm them up for some sort of sale. That's it for lead funnels. And we don't recommend that for most people just getting started. We'll get to this, okay? Calendar funnels. I have to be honest, right now as I'm writing, calendar funnels are our favorite. They are definitely our favorite.
Totally.
If you were thinking about a lead funnel and the lead magnet was going to be a free consultation or something like that, you should do this one instead. The purpose of a calendar funnel is to get someone to sign up to your calendar. Then, while you're on the phone with them, you can sell them whatever you like. Remember in chapter 8, Brian mentioned the 3 buckets, DIY, DWI, DFY. If you have all 3 of those done, you can simply direct the prospect on the phone to whatever package fits them the best, whether they prefer saving time or money. So basically, this is a very simple funnel that has ultimate flexibility.
May I? Just to offer a little bit more context here. Totally. And so, and I think we talked about this a little bit more in the past chapters. I'm not sure which ones it would have been, but we did talk about how people value time and money differently. And so when you get to a point where you do have a DIY, DWI, or DFY, obviously your do it for you is more pricey. Your do it with you is kind of in the middle, but it is pricier, right? Typically a DWI is, I don't know, for us, we don't do anything under, like, what is our baseline DWI? do it with you?
Well, so it depends. So because like technically, Passion of Profits is kind of a DWI, because we are kind of helping people right now.
We
Okay,
are right now, but that's just like a kind
it
bonus. I would
it's
consider Passion and Profits still a DIY, do it
it's almost
yourself.
like there's like another DWI above done for you, which is the one-on-one type coaching.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of what I look at this. So if we were to go based on one-on-one coaching, what is our DWI kind of standard rate for one-on-one coaching?
Um, Man,
It
we
does
just
it
didn't
does
we
kind
just
of
quote something?
it does kind of depend, eh? Like I've
It
had
does.
students that were paying me like $1,500 a month for like one-on-one coaching. I haven't been doing as much one-on-one coaching lately because things have just been really crazy and we're honed in on a few different areas, but that's mine. I know Zach, when I first started coming, it was like $10,000 a month, which might seem crazy, but like,
Yeah.
he was averaging, a lot of his clients, they were high ticket in the DFY, like crazy high ticket. So like ultimately the way you need to kind of look at DIY, DWI, and DFY is DIY is more like of a
Save money.
save money mentality. DWI is somebody who wants to save time, but they're also kind of looking to figure out how to do it on their own so they can conserve money. So they're kind of like in the middle. And then DFY is like somebody who's 100% like, I want to save time. 100%. Just do it for me. Cost is not an issue. Right. And that, if you now get people in a calendar and you have these systems set up, now all you got to do is get to know the person when they and here's the other cool thing about this. A lot of agencies just focus on lead gen, and what ends up happening is that cold calling, running around like a chicken with your head cut off thing starts to happen because it's not positioned properly in my like for saving time. If you do value time, it's not positioned properly for that. You now have to chase that lead. Whereas here with the calendar, they booked a time with you. All y'all have to do is like show up.
Yeah.
That's a whole different layer of like how you're positioned. You are now positioned. If you do this correctly, you are positioned as the expert. This person is chomping at the bits to talk with you. And now it's just about figuring out how they can get in where they fit in based
Exactly.
on how they value time and money. And so if you have your DIY, DWI, and DFY, I'm not saying that you need to have all those things figured out to make this work, but at the very least, you're really going to get to know very quickly what your audience needs in order to make that work. And you'll probably be able to, on the spot, meet them where they're at and build it as you go,
Yeah.
starting with this calendar link
Yeah.
or this calendar funnel. It's just, it has been a game changer for us. I can't tell you, like, I've been able to speak with thousands of real estate agents, and that's what led us to being able to, like, over 6 months, literally, we spoke to thousands of real estate agents to get to a point of getting the message down the way we do to have such a successful calendar funnel and down to the offer. Now it's like, it's on
Very,
fire.
very powerful. Very powerful. And I talk about that too in a sec. So you have a simple funnel that has ultimate flexibility because you can direct them where they fit. Also, sales are just easier on the phone or on a Zoom call versus trying to get automatic sales, which we'll get to in a minute. Calendar funnels are for you if you're just getting your business started or if your product or service is more than $1,000. Ultimately, we recommend this funnel to everyone. Even if you have a booming business, you need to do this at least 1 month every year just to stand in front of your clients and actually talk with them. The amount of information you get from actually talking with your audience is priceless. Before moving on, bear in mind that this calendar page is not just a calendar page like the graphic suggests up here. Where am I here? That page should be full of context. The real estate example from above is a calendar funnel, and we have it loaded with context. Also, before they submit a time on the calendar, make sure you ask them 5 to 10 questions. That will help qualify people looking to sign up. For our real estate funnel, we ask them these questions: full name, email, phone number, postal code, do you own your home, How much did you purchase your home originally? Estimate is fine. Have you tried selling your home on your own? If this was a good fit and you were in the market, when would you like to sell? With all that information, naturally leads are going to cost a lot more, but the payoff is massive. Okay.
Totally. Because by the time they answer those questions, that person is so qualified, it's not even funny.
Right.
Like they've literally taken the time to answer those questions, to jump into your calendar, and that's a serious person. Once you ask those questions, like again, like when you run traffic to it, the leads cost more, but the quality is just through the roof.
100%. So number 3, webinar funnels. I feel like webinar funnels is the perfect transition from calendar funnels. Calendar funnels let you test out your offers and messages to see what will work and what won't work. A webinar funnel is a funnel where people register to watch some sort of training video. And at the end of the video, there's a value stack and offer where they can buy on their own without a phone call. The philosophy here is that through the video, you can establish enough trust and rapport for them to make a buying decision. We do not recommend doing this unless you've done the calendar funnel strategy.
Mm-hmm.
A webinar only works if you can speak in a way that makes the viewer feel like you know them personally. Once you have that under your belt, then webinars can be effective for offers between $100 and $1,000. I've seen webinars sell up to $10,000 before. But I don't recommend that for most people unless you're a very experienced webinar person. Here's what this funnel would look like. So it's got a traffic source. They go to the webinar replay. Oh, you know what? I didn't even put a registration in here. There should be an opt-in page, then the webinar replay, and then the sales page, order form, thank you page.
Yep.
So I got to redo that.
No worries. That's great.
So you can see there's a bit more work involved with how many pages and what kinds of tech integrations will be needed. Still, we've run successful webinar campaigns, and when it works, it's a beautiful thing. Then we move on to number 4, sales funnels. This is the last strategy in our list. Sales funnels are for an established business or entrepreneur, someone who has enough evidence and results to back up their products and services. As an example here, we have a very high-level coach on our roster. He has unbelievable testimonies from students who grew their businesses 300+% under his guidance. We were able to leverage those results and make a sales funnel that works well. Typically, you have to start with something kind of low. In this case, we have a $37 offer right up front.
We call this a sneezable offer.
Sneezable offer.
Sneezable offer.
So it needs to be, I'm going to make a note. It needs to be something that they really want, right? And again, if you're doing the calendar and then you do the web, like at that point, you know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to make a little comment here for me. From there, you can add pages after the first purchase in order to increase the average amount each buyer spends. That added page is called an upsell. Here's what it looks like. So you got traffic to a sales page. They fill out an order form. Then they have their upsell. Thank you page. The amazing thing here is that you start to recuperate your marketing budget right away with the upfront sale and then become profitable with the upsell. People are much more likely to buy from you if they've already bought from you once before. This is where most people want to get to, an automated sales process that's 100% scalable. However, my caution to you is that you take your time to get here. If you don't have that messaging, audience, and offer dialed in just right, this sales funnel could be a cash flow drain instead of a money generator.
Mm-hmm.
So when we first start to work with our clients, we always suggest either a lead funnel or calendar funnel to start. Lead funnels work well with some of our clients who already have a sales team ready to call the leads that come in. But even with those clients, we're moving to shift them over to calendar as well. We just found the lead cost is way higher, but the chances of the sale goes up to almost 75%. Normal leads close at 10%. That's worth it. Once you get once you get some solid calendar sales coming through, you don't stop that funnel. Instead, you add a webinar funnel to test against it. Once the webinar funnel is generating sales automatically, it's up to you whether or not to turn off the calendar. But again, you need to run that again at least 1 month out of the year. Ideally, you should run it once a quarter, 4 times a year, to really stay on top of your market. After the webinar funnel is successful, you can develop a solid product, and I'll put sneezable here too. This needs to be sneezable. A solid product to run traffic to using a sales funnel, and that's how you can reach the masses. It's time to take your passion and change the world. These strategies will help you get there.
That was so good, man. That's powerful. So we covered, it was how many types of funnels here? We got the 4 is the lead, the calendar,
webinar, and sales.
And we have the sales funnel. Yeah, like, and the webinar was registered to a webinar to a high ticket item. The sales funnel was like straight up, like front end, like we're gonna start with a sale. Yeah. And that, like, and we actually, like, can we actually go a little bit to the funnel structure of what we had there for 365 driven, Mr. Tony?
Yeah,
like, just because we did update it a little bit, but I do agree that what you have here for the sales page, like, and again, this is not written in stone. You have to, like, really, like, there's 2 things that need to happen. Like, I mean, from an agency standpoint, for us, we really need to know our client and their audience for how this thing sets up. But if we were to go with a baseline for a template on how you would do this, yes, it would go from like that little green screen. Again, if you're listening on podcast, I want you to think of like traffic, traffic source, whether it's a Facebook, YouTube, whatever. It could be organic from any one of your Instagram, whatever, right? To call to action to that sales page. Mm-hmm. And that sales page is a low ticket item between $37 to $47. Okay. Definitely under $100. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then that obviously goes to the order form and they buy, and then to the upsell, as Zach has here, which means that as soon as they buy, they go to another page where they can do a 1-click upsell where it could be, all of a sudden, like for Tony, it's a $365, $1 a day type cool offer, right? And then that goes to a thank you page. However, knowing Tony, knowing the audience, how we kind of shifted it a little bit for him is that we went from sales page to order form. They buy, they end up going to what they paid for, which was the actual, they're paying for a webinar on this one, an hour training. They paid for an hour training, and then the upsell comes after the training. It actually pops up during the training on the page. Like, it's really fun tech stuff. So we're going to be teaching some of those things. And then, of course, that goes to a thank you page should they actually click the 1-click upsell. So nothing here is written in stone. It's really about creating the experience that that your ideal audience is going to want, need, and what they feel and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's the data that's going to tell you that. And that's what we've learned on this journey as well. So all that being said, for the inner circle people, okay, I'm going to take back hosts and I'm actually going to be sharing a screen here. For the inner circle people, you are going to, this is all this teaching right now. This is completely complimentary. If you're here right now, I hope you've been enjoying this awesome content. All right. Like the value in this, I wish somebody would have taught me.
Yeah. Same
like
here.
This. Right. Like I wish somebody would have, like, we had to learn the hard way, thousands upon thousands of dollars, hours upon hours. And, so the value here is absolutely incredible. And I hope that it's changing your life the same as we've been hearing from others. I literally was on a phone the other day Mr. Chris Whitney. I grew up with the guy. We used to party together back in the day, and now, we're both on a very different trajectory. And he ended up telling me on the phone, dude, like, this is so impactful. Like, I'm almost in tears at the amount of enlightenment I'm getting through this program, and the results. Like, he actually clicked. That is my passion. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I actually drew out a thing for him on how he could make a profit with it, using these strategies, using this hook, using these, and he was just like, this makes so much sense. And it stops becoming about dirty sales, and it becomes more about service and having fun and enjoying what you're doing, and just meeting people where they're at and giving them what they want and how they want it. Yes. Right? Like, that's the big difference here. Okay. And so we got over 20 people right now that are in this, and they've got not only they got the software. I'll actually break down and show you what they have. And again, I've got it on my list for this week. Zach and I have had so many things going on. We have to update this page because there's more to it. There's more meat. There's more jam to this right now. And I'm trying to get to the page, and my internet's not allowing me. I might have to get you to open it up on your page, Zach. I'll try it one more time. And it's loading, and it's not fun. Zach, I'm going to swap you here and let you pull up the Passion to Profits page.
Sure thing.
So, yeah. But this inner circle group that we got going on here right now, not only do they get the software that has all of their digital marketing and sales needs. Looks like yours is having a hard time loading too. We might have to go without a page on this one.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
There it goes.
Weird.
Nice. Yeah. Fun internet stuff. So if you go to go.convertoncommand.pro/passion, the number 2 profits now, you can do that all one word, or you can put dashes in between. So go.convertoncommand.pro/passion-2-profits-now. Okay. If you go to this page, you're going to notice, you'll see the chapters. Let's go down to look at the chapters here. Chapter 1 through 12, 12-week program. Okay. 12 weeks. We actually coach you once a week. We jam once a week for an hour together as a community. And we go over some of the biggest questions, some of the biggest challenges that you're going through. We help you overcome those things so that you can literally turn your passion to profits, drive impact and income, even if you have no idea where to start. Okay. We did swap a couple of chapters here. We're swapping chapter 11 and 10 and 11 because we just felt the order needed to shift a little bit here. But these 20 people, they're getting, of course, the book, the ebook, the audio, and all of it, like the hard copy and everything. They're getting the course. So, for example, today we went over a bunch of stuff, but they're getting templates. Not only are they getting templates, but during the training, we're literally helping them through this. And in the course, we're going into more depth and detail on how to actionize this, because obviously we can't just do that on a podcast here. It becomes a little bit more challenging. You should be able to take all the information that you're reading and that you're ingesting here and now and actionize a lot of it and understand it. But we're literally going to go into much more detail in the course to help coach you through these actionary steps. So you can literally do this step by step, all on your own. Okay. Super simple. That's the whole point of this. That's what we're working on making this be. And that's what this inner circle group is getting. They're getting weekly support. And again, you can ask us anything. There's a little ask me anything area down here, as you can see. And every week, every chapter gets submitted. They get sent it via text and email, and they get all the ways that they're able to ingest this information however they want to ingest it. And then we ask a few key questions, like, what was your biggest takeaway? What are your biggest questions? What is your biggest piece of advice? And then how can we best serve you moving forward? And those 4 questions are key because that's what's driving the content right now. Again, we could have assumed and just put it together arrogantly and cocky like that, or we could really get to know what you want and need. And that's what this is about. So if we scroll back up again to all the things that you're going to get, you get that support. Plus you get unlimited websites, funnels, a CRM, grandfathered lifetime access to our business ignition system. This is normally like $97 a month. Some of our clients spend up to $300 a month for extra features and benefits and all that kind of stuff within our program. But this basically ClickFunnels on steroids. All of your digital marketing and sales needs. We run our entire business on this platform. Okay. And you get grandfathered lifetime access to this. That means that you don't have to pay a monthly fee for that program at all. Okay. It's just a part of the being a part of the inner circle group. Okay. So your name is credited in the book as a co-founding member. And that's just huge because we're going to have a best-selling book again. Like I know we are. Like we've done it before. We're going to do it again. And now you're going to be a co-founder of a best-selling book. So, and there's lots more that we're adding to this, but as of right now, it's $120 USD for 3 months. Okay. You can pay that monthly, like a 3-pay, or a one-time payment of $300 USD. And it's going to go up here. Is the price going up in April, or is the price going up?
To be determined. I think this is what we want to run with for April.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, jump in now too, because like it's huge. Like our inner circle group right now, where you get in, where you fed in, like you lock in that number for a whole bunch of other really cool things that are coming up, man, in terms of the value that just continues to grow with what we're building here with this community. So definitely jump in there. And then if you want to dive in a little bit deeper here, you can actually go to go.convertoncommand.pro/passion to profits dash. I think it's going to be chapter 10. And then you can check out every chapter by just changing chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, all the way up, right? So like you can get a lot of this content completely complimentary, but if you want to take your game to another level, if you want to increase your impact and income, and fast track that, I don't know where else you're going to get this kind of value, man. Like it is, I honestly wish somebody would have did this for me. And so, yeah, we're just really fired up. Glad to have you a part of the show. Listen, if you're listening today, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you leave us a Rockstar 5-star rating. It really helps us to be able to reach more people. Definitely go to YouTube, subscribe to us, and leave us a like and a comment on the YouTube. What are we doing there, Zach? I think we chatted about it last week a little bit about how, some of the fun things that you can do with that. If somebody goes to our YouTube channel and subscribes, likes and comments and all that kind of stuff, what kind of extra coolness or should we add and give to them for that?
Man.
Do we need to think about that for next time?
Yeah, let's think about that.
About that.
It could be, it could be like a free consultation to like go over their things and help them hone this crap in, or maybe some kind of guide or something that we have, some kind of, there's so many things that we could do.
Cool. So we're going to think up for next week. Hopefully I'll remember because I still haven't updated this page yet, but maybe that's part of the process. So, we're going to think up something, but if you go through those steps and you take a screenshot of actually subscribing to the podcast, leaving us a 5-star Rockstar rating, and leaving us an awesome testimonial on the podcast, and then you also go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and leave a Rockstar comment there, then take a screenshot of both of those things and just send it to us, and we will make sure that we hook you up with something really awesome that's going to be of great value to you. And we'll be a little bit more detailed on that next week. I can hear kids in the background for you over there, Zach. So we're going to tie this up. We want to thank you so much once again for being a part of the community. Lots of love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Out.
Thanks for listening to the Convert on Command podcast, sponsored by Convert on Command and Mission Ignition Marketing. If you want to ignite your business and increase your sales, Be sure to visit convertoncommand.pro and set up a time that works best for you in the calendar at the bottom of the page under the latest feature video.